So we kind of had a sad moment in the last video. Catherine was finally destroyed. She played a really good game, but man, that backstab by France, it was devastating. But this was at the same time a very good pickup for Korea. They now share a more interesting border with Napoleon. It is going to definitely, I think, raise the stakes at the very least between Korea and France. I obviously, I think it's pretty obvious. Oh, look at this! I didn't realize that Denmark and the Ottomans were like duking it out inside of Napoleon's territory, while he just like watches like on his evil throne right now. That's the way I see it, though. So the Ottomans might actually have a little bit of luck here. They sent over everything, although they sent over everything. So that's why we saw that notification in the last video that Napoleon was plotting against Suleiman. Is it Suleiman? I know that I say it wrong all the time. It's not Solomon. I know that, but I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. It's Suleiman, I think. Anyways, also a few peace deals happened over the break. Spain and Denmark have peaced out. So it looks like Spain will keep over Santiago for now, until I guess the British decide to take it over. And then we also had the Congo piecing out with Egypt. But that was before after they took over this Egyptian city. Pretty big Egyptian city in their favor. Nice little front now. Let's see if the Zulu can actually take over the now Egyptian capital, but former Ethiopian capital. So that is kind of complicated there. Definitely want to watch over the wars going on in the French territory. I think that's pretty entertaining. Turn 487. Like I said, we'll be going to turn 550. Let's see what happens. Again, India, one of those very surprising nations I completely forget about. I always forget that they're still alive, which is crazy. Yeah, so they're going to siege. They're going to try to at least attempt to siege out Copenhagen. These peace deals with the Ottomans might only force the Ottomans to, or I guess, make the Ottomans more aggressive in their conquest of Denmark, or their attempts to take down Denmark. Denmark really has like no troops at all. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ottomans do enough damage here if the British decide to join in. They can squeeze through the North Sea, even though Troyes has a lot of territory here. They can squeeze through. Although the British and Denmark have open borders. However, remember our theory, which has been disproven actually in this campaign here. Just because AIs have open borders doesn't mean that they will not declare war on each other. We have seen that happen at least once. It's unlikely though. My new theory is that it's just unlikely for the most part. Because the AI has to be willing to backstab. And I know that Napoleon has... I think Napoleon, last time I checked, I thought he had a pretty high flavor for backstabbing. His personality type did. But I can't remember exactly what number it was. And where he compared to other nations on the list. So, we'll see. Vietnam and Canada have peaced out. Surprised Saigon's still alive. There's actually a lot of nations that I keep forgetting about just because the world has blobbed out so much. It is kind of shocking. Hey, because Russia's no longer in it, it does seem like we're moving a little bit faster through the turns, which are processing. That's kind of nice. That's messed up. That's a terrible thing to say, but it does seem like that. Let's see what the Ottomans are doing. I think the French are making it a little bit harder because they're bringing... It looks like they might be bringing more troops back to protect, cities like Hamburg, Lyon, Berlin. Not going to try to pronounce this Danish city. There goes the first, I think, Danish unit that has been destroyed so far. Denmark seems to be on the same sort of pace as the Ottomans. They both have great war infantry. Loading up a carrier, it looks like. What do they have? Anything interesting? A triplane? 2 triplanes. Okay, yeah, that's not going to be enough. And then we have a guided missile from the French. Well, that shouldn't be surprising. I'm sure the French actually have a lot of... Wow, wait a second. You know what's really strange about this? Is that the French really have, like, no air force at all. Has anyone made a comment about that? Not sure if anyone else recognized that, but I'm just noticing this right now. Oh my gosh. Why do the French have no air force? I mean, look at the British. They only have about 5, Well, they do have unique units. This particular mod have the Spitfire, so that kind of would explain why they have maybe a bigger air force. Very strange to see Congo also building the Manhattan Project. Weird to see that the AI hasn't really built many Air Force units, many aircrafts. Usually by this point in the game, they're everywhere. That's really, I'm very curious about that. Why is that happening? Maybe no, no. This is not the crack speaking. I'm pretty sure. I'm really used to, at this stage in the game, AI's having tons of planes all around their empire. So I don't know. That's really strange. Spain was declared war on by Vietnam and Colombia, which actually could be interesting because Colombia is not far at all from Santiago. They actually have like a little line of cities that they could travel up to. Congo, like I said, have built the Manhattan Project. What is next? Banning of cloves? Cloves? What is that? Is that an Indonesian? Why is that? Wait a second. I have never seen that. That is a unique. I think that's a unique luxury for one of the modded civs. That's got to be. Never seen that before. Or maybe it's an Indonesian luxury for some reason that got into the campaign. Oh wait, no, Jakarta was here. Never mind. I don't know why I thought I'm totally looking into like future AI only worlds because I've told myself that I don't want to include Indonesia anymore. Forgot that they started off technically in this series here, Jakarta. So yeah, that is a Indonesian luxury. My apologies. But yeah, no, I completely disregarded because I was like, no, I'm not going to include Indonesia anymore. And like I went over earlier in a few videos ago, what I was going to do for future AI onlys and not really have anyone start off on any islands at all. Don't want to be doing that anymore. So I don't know if the Zulu are going to be able to do this. They might. They have, they still have open borders through Congo territory, so they are able to kind of reinforce somewhat. The Ottomans have denounced too. Australia. India has publicly denounced France. Ooh, you better be careful there, Gandhi. You are no longer the powerhouse anymore. The Ottomans might be somewhat on the retreat, although they have done quite a bit of damage to the Danish. I mean, not quite a bit, but they've done a little bit of damage to Harold Bluetooth. Okay, so we're about to see what Siam is doing. It's a video, like an entire video or two into the making here. Siam's sneak attack. They are going inside of the Mediterranean. Is this for the Ottomans? Are they going to attack the Ottomans here? Because it kind of looks like that. The UK have denounced Siam, and someone's denounced Canada, something like that. Wait, well, I can just check. UK has also denounced Canada. I see. Just announcements. There's no more declaration of friendships, which is a pretty normal thing in Civ. Another thing that I think that Civ needs to work on in Civ 6, or at least if they were to make any changes, if there's any sort of mod changes, just like every single campaign of Civ 5 always ends with the world hating each other. I mean, maybe that's just the outlook of Firaxis, which is not a bad outlook at all. I mean, it seems like it's a possibility, but I don't like that there's like usually never any sort of friendships that last the test of time. Through the AIs, at least. I mean, if I was a human player, human players are able to somewhat maybe keep up friendships throughout the entire game. Yep, so Egypt did settle there. We'll see if they survive. I don't know if I don't know if Korea is willing to take them down. I don't know if they're willing to waste their time with that. Zulu have multiple artillery weapons all around, ready to take this city over. They certainly will. And they might even be able to squeeze through the Red Sea. Now, that would be extremely difficult for them to do because they'd be... Actually, with the submarines, it would help out a little bit because the submarines would act as meat shields as their land units embarked to the Arabian Peninsula. But it's possible, but it's very unlikely. Although Mecca is at a city defense of 53, this city's at 95, so there's clearly going to be a pretty big difference. Let's check on Siam. I can't believe Siam's doing this. I don't know if we've ever seen this long of a journey and this like massive of a sneak attack. I mean, they still have more units coming. They're all coming. Oh, they took that over really quick. Wow. I wasn't expecting them to take that over now. It was all these artillery units. Dang, they had like 6 in place. That's fantastic for the AI. That's great maneuvering for the AI. I've not really seen that before in the past. An AI navigate their artillery this well. All 3 tiles away so they can't be bombarded. A few melee units, not just 1 or 2. 3 is maybe a little bit overkill, but since they're an AI, they probably need that extra unit there. That was an incredible siege. And Egypt is no longer in Africa. They've been banished to the Arabian Peninsula and northern Siberia. Northeastern Siberia, pretty much. Cuba has not attacked Spain, and maybe it's because the Ashanti are going after Spain. although they're just sending over submarines, which is not going to help at all. Egypt has denounced Japan. Yeah, that is certainly not going to help very much. Do we see anything from Canada? Any sort of signs on what Canada plans? Few skirmishes going on still within French territory around Paris. India has denounced Australia. We should be definitely taking a look at technology and how the world's doing. Oh, okay, so here goes a lot of Spain and Siam. Maybe that's what Siam was doing. But what I was saying is there goes like a few, probably the most aircrafts we've seen. There's also an atomic bomb and a nuclear missile inside of this Korean city. Oh, yeah, Korea actually has a bunch of air units. They've got a ton. So that would be a pretty big advantage that they'd have over the French. The French have like maybe 5, or maybe there could be a lot off the coast. Maybe they're in carriers out in the Atlantic or somewhere out in the ocean. That could definitely be a possibility too. So Siam, you kind of went over here for no reason. Mexico declaring war on Spain. So maybe we will see the British attack, or even the French. The French could definitely occur too. Harry Parks has entered the information era. Yes, I want to check on Congo now going after Spain. All right, so there goes that coalition. If the British or the French join in, that's the only way I think we could see the end of Isabella. Canada and Colombia, which it was initially a pretty huge war that broke out. I'm surprised that didn't result in something a little bit more. I thought that might end up being... I don't know. I thought that might have ended up being more interesting. Anyways, Info Addicts. I want to check if anyone is catching up on technologies. Let's go ahead and see here. So Korea is only 1 tech behind, so pretty much they have. Canada... Oh my gosh, they're still about 10 techs behind. Wow, yeah, that is still a very long way to go to catch France. Although, because we're going to turn 550, I mean, they have a lot of time. Where is Colombia on this list? Are they that bad in technology? Colombia's here. Towards the bottom of our list, we have like, well, England is myself. I'm sorry, Japan. I was gonna say England. I was like, oh, geez, they're not doing very well. That's me. Egypt's at 57. Surprised to see the Ottomans so low on this. Geez, 63. That's just... I don't know. I'm really shocked that there hasn't been a little bit more progress being made. I know a lot of these nations are big, which means that their technology cost is going to be a lot more than some of the smaller nations. You know, the British are doing, last time I checked, very well in technology. Because they don't have very many cities, and London is so massive. It's one of the only cities that, well, it has never been under siege from Napoleon, but Napoleon, I'm sure, has got to have his sights on the UK. I mean, it's got to be on his priority list. It's such a huge city, but then again, France probably thinks they don't need to do that. They don't need to go to war with anybody else. Korea does, though, and let's. I'm hoping that Korea does go to war. Oh, bam! Resistance is already over. I'm not sure if there is some sort of what is Korea doing here? Something is about to go down. Yeah, something is definitely gonna happen. I think maybe we might see Korea go after India potentially, and we have France moving around the Horn of Africa. Possibly to reinforce, Nobamba. Spain and the Ashanti have peaced out, which means that these submarines are going to move out of the way, so possibly more nations will be able to attack Santiago. Although Spain already has quite a bit of units here to defend Santiago, so I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. It'll probably be a kind of a back-and-forth sort of war. Yeah, if the British were to go to war with Spain, they'll be able to take over Madrid, I think. Quite easily, if the British go, because the riflemen are not going to really stop anything. I don't think the riflemen would stop anything. The amount of XCOM units that France has is kind of crazy. It is definitely crazy. Yeah, so the Zulu are in fact trying to attack Mecca. That could be what Korea could be attempting here. Ooh, why did that happen? That hasn't happened all game. Korea might be trying to take out Egypt. It's very strange. I wonder why it told me to, why it made me go back to my submarine in Danish Green Mark, which is exactly why I put that submarine there, because I wanted him to be in Danish Green Mark. Still a lot of no activity from Australia. Nothing too much from Australia. Siam has denounced the Congo. And Siam has not really done anything. I mean, he now can attack. He has the possibility of possibly going after Santiago, because the Ashanti should be moving out of the way soon, although they're not. Did the Ashanti force for open borders? Would they do that? Is that something an AI would do? Peace out for just maybe open borders and money or something. So that's why they're just keeping all these naval units there, which would be smart if they wanted to defend Spain from falling to anybody else. Yeah, that would be kind of a smart thing. Okay, so one thing I want to check in before we go further is I want to see if there's anyone else that hasn't chosen an ideology. No, okay, so we have ideologies everywhere now. Let's check on most of the world is autocratic, and we have everyone else in a revolutionary wave, all the order and freedom nations combined. The only nation that, ooh, look at the happiness though. Congo are negative happiness. Siam is at negative happiness. France is at 117, probably because of wonders. Dang, the Ottomans they have negative 35 on happiness because of the revolutionary wave, but they're still overall at 12. They've got to have some sort of wonder too. I'm thinking. Oh, now the Ashanti are being pushed back. I see. And assigned delegates don't care. The embargo of Cuba. Again, surprised that Cuba's still around. Very shocked by that. Didn't think that they would be after Canada declared war. But maybe Canada doesn't really have the fleet in the Atlantic. They don't have a fleet in the Pacific. Again, that's the biggest weakness that Canada has, is that they didn't build ships. And I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't build ships. Everyone else built ships, Canada. And I know that you kind of had played a pretty big land game for the most part. Yeah, I don't think Mecca's going to fall. Like I said, it would be really, really difficult for an AI to take Mecca. Extremely difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the campaign forward until we see another war. Hopefully it won't take another 25 turns or something like that. It seems like there might be a few more. It seems like a few nations are on the brink of war, but they just haven't declared it yet, which is totally normal. They might not ever declare it. I doubt it, though. Oh, Siam is somewhat coming back, although that might be more forces going to Iberia. They could be bugged. Siam is kind of screwing himself here. Looks like the Congo might, or I'm sorry, the Congo. Why do I keep messing that up? Korea might be going to war with somebody, maybe India, which I'd like to see because I've never really seen an invasion, a successful invasion of Delhi. We've never seen that before. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.